To no surprise at all, the Edmonton Oilers are having another very annoying year. Lots of ups, and as of late, certainly a lot of downs. And you can blame it on a lot of people. For the first time in his career, Connor McDavid is kind of just looking normal out there. He's having a down year in regards to what we've seen in previous years. Like really down. And this has kind of had a trickle-down effect. It's led to the whole offense having bad years. Zach Hyman, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, the new guys have absolutely done diddly squat. Some people are blaming on defense, in particular Evan Bouchard, because just like the other guys I've previously mentioned, Bouchard is having a significant down year offensively. His offense has been okay, but this guy cannot defend to save his life. But more than anyone, and I don't even think it's really close, local boy Stuart Skinner is the definition of controversial up in oil country. Some people really like his play, and are optimistic that he's going to be a legit number one in the next few seasons. It's worth mentioning that a lot of these people are the media, and then you've got the fans who are running Skinner out of town. Even if he has a decent night, they're just looking at the negatives. And in all my years of following the Oilers, there have been some very controversial Oilers. But I don't think there has been a more controversial player than Stuart Skinner in regards to if people think he's good or not. So in today's video, you guessed it, we're discussing public enemy number one, Stuart Skinner. Is he good? Is he bad? Is he the main reason as to why the Oilers are sucking? Drop a comment down below as I read every single one. And I'm curious. I'm really curious. I need to know your thoughts. How's it going, guys? I'm YouTube Trev. Thanks for clicking on this video. I really appreciate it. In this video, we're going to be talking about Stuart Skinner. Is he good? Is he bad? Like I just said, what's going on in oil country? Are you concerned? Are you worried? Who's to blame? All those questions will be answered in today's video. And I just want to say the last video I did was awesome. So keep them coming, guys. Really appreciate the support. It got over 200 likes. So if we can keep that going, oh, I tell you what, I'd be so happy. So leave a like. It is the best way to get my episodes out there. But this is something I've been wanting to talk about for quite a while now. It's been grinding my gears, and I have a lot to say on this matter. And stay to the end. Stay to the end of this video, please, because I have a theory. I have a serious theory, and I'm curious to know what you guys have to say about this. So stay to the end because I do have a theory, okay? That's all I'm going to say. Boom! Anyway, okay, let's get back to it. Is Stuart Skinner bad, or is he good? Well, let's just take a look at the numbers. This year, Stuart Skinner, 44 games played. His goals against average, 2.88. And his save percentage is .896. Well, I don't know how many goalies have played in the NHL this season, but I will say Stuart Skinner is currently 33rd in regards to goals against average. He's right in between Sam Montembeault and Joel Hofer of the St. Louis Blues. Okay, well, let's take a look at his save percentage. He is 35th in the league with a .896 save percentage. And he's actually tied with Calvin Pickard, I guess, with a .896 as well. Pickard is 38th in the league. There's a few things I will say. You can look at the numbers and you can look at the eye test. I see a player that has flashes of decent play. Like, I think he's okay. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. I think the media is blowing up Stuart Skinner's game, making him seem like he is the next coming of Grant Fuhr and that he is just so good, and they think of last year's playoffs and whatnot. And then I think you got the fans who think he's just the worst goalie in the league. And I really do believe Stuart Skinner is somewhere in the middle. I think he's got a lot of upside, and I think he's got a lot of potential. This guy was a Calder finalist, and he was a freaking all-star in his first year. Like, he was by far his best play of hockey was his first year. With a .914 save percentage, and he had .273 goals against average. He was awesome. He was really good. So, as far as the numbers that he's been able to put up this year, I think they're pretty bad. They are. I think Stuart Skinner can be better than that. I really do. But the one thing I will say about Stuart Skinner's game is just whether it's Vejmelka, if it's Dostal, if it's I don't know, like if it's Kevin Lankinen. Like sometimes I'll just tune in and watch a game, and a goalie will win a team a game. I have yet to say that about Stuart Skinner this season. I don't think Stuart Skinner has won the Oilers a game this year. And I think that he has lost the Oilers a few games. And I think there's probably a good chance on any given night that you're going to be talking about one of the goals that he lets in, and you're going to say Stuart Skinner probably should have had that one. He's had maybe 1 or 2 good games this year where you can say, yeah, he was really good. And then the 42 other games, he hasn't been that. That doesn't mean that he's not going to be that kind of goalie. This is his 3rd year coming into the league. And this was really supposed to be the first year where you're going to get a decent showing of Stuart Skinner. It was supposed to be Jack Campbell. That's why they signed him. It was soup and stew. It was all good, all dandelions and butterflies and rainbows, everything. Birds were chirping. All was dandy. The Oilers finally had 2 goalies. And then we all know what happened with soup. And now stew is lukewarm. Lukewarm. You got lukewarm stew. Or soup. Stew. And I have the pleasure with working with a former Oilers goaltender in Joaquin Gage. And he is just as big of a defender of Stuart Skinner as anyone I know. From the very get-go, he's been saying, no, Stuart Skinner is your guy. Stuart Skinner. He's very, very pro Stuart Skinner. And I can see where he gets that. But, there's so many arguments this year where, Stuart Skinner has bounce-back games. Like, he is so good in bounce-back games. And it's like, if you're a number 1 goalie, you shouldn't have to have bounce-back games as much as Stuart Skinner does. You should be able to have, put together 5, 4, even 3. I would go for 3 solid games at this point. But that's not the case. Stuart Skinner's had a bad game, then he's had a good game, an okay game, and then he's had a bad game, and then he's had a good game. People are always saying he's unreal. When he has a terrible game, he shows up the next game. But I look at it the other way. I think he has a really good game, and you're like, oh, that's awesome. So you should be expecting another really good game. No, he sucks. He sucks the next game. He's not that good the next game. I'll say this. When the team plays really good in front of him, he looks awesome. He looks good. And he doesn't have to be amazing. He just has to be good. And a good chunk of the time, when the team plays good in front of him, that's what he'll be. He'll be just good. He'll be fine. He'll be okay. He'll be exactly... some fans want perfection in net, and he's not going to do that. Not now, and maybe not for a few more years. Maybe never. But when a good goalie really shows his true colors of being a good goalie, it's when the team is bad in front. And he can stand on his head every now and then. And he can make some grade A saves. And I'm not sure, and I'm just going to say it, Stuart Skinner's not that guy this year. He's not that guy. He's not that guy. Do I think Stuart Skinner can be that guy? Yes, I do. And I've seen glimpses of it. But I think he is a ways away from being that goalie. On a second note, here is my theory. And I'm just going to leave it at this. And thank you for watching this video. Thanks for clicking on this video. And I'm very curious, guys. What do you guys think on Stuart Skinner? And first off, if any of you say, oh, Schwartz, the goalie coach, needs to get it, just stop. Just shut up right there. If you're typing that right now, that's the only comment I don't want to hear. The buddy has nothing to do with how the goalies play. I'm sorry, but I'm not even going to entertain that. So just don't. You've got players that don't perform in this city, and they've got all the spotlight in the world. They're working for, they're playing for, one of the biggest franchises regarding NHL, regarding hockey in the whole world. Everything they do is under a microscope. Is that the saying? Ryan McLeod last year, he couldn't do a thing right. He goes out, he's actually having a career year in Buffalo this year, a god-awful Buffalo team. You look at Warren Fogle, he was criticized mightily forever. He goes to LA, and he's having a career year. He's on pace for a career year. Don't get me started with Dylan Holloway, who wasn't really criticized, but he never got a fair shot in the orange and blue. But I mean, there's so many players that just come in and they're expected so much of, and before they're even given a fair shot. And I know it's they're pros and they should be able to tune out the noise as much as possible, but you can't tune out the noise when Stuart Skinner's in his own home barn and people are booing him. I'm certain that the last game he made some saves. It wasn't Stu, it was boo. Like, how do you think that's going to help? Like, I don't know, man. We've seen it with Devin Dubnyk. I know I was thinking of some players before this. And Ryan Strome, when he was here, he didn't do good. Like, I could go up and down. Players just, sometimes the Oilers fans just think so highly and want, immediate success from certain players. And that's just not, that's not real. That's not reality. That's not how it is sometimes. So, I don't know, man. I just hate for Stuart Skinner to leave elsewhere and be like, screw this town, screw this city, screw this organization, screw everything. I'm taking my talent elsewhere, and he's going to just absolutely crush it. I can see that happening. I really can. I can see that happening. I can. So, that's my theory. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Drop a comment down below. Is Stuart Skinner the main reason why the Oilers are sucking? And I guess I'll just finish with that. No, I do not think that. I just listed off the offense this year. The Oilers have sucked so bad offensively. The only two we were talking about at work today, the only two forwards that have kind of, exceeded expectations this year is Leon Draisaitl and Corey Perry. That is it. Out of 12 forwards, only two. That's embarrassing. It's not acceptable. This team as a whole has sucked, which is, I think, led to Stuart Skinner's play to be down as well. Like, he's having a down year, but you cannot tell me that Connor McDavid's having a great year. You cannot, everyone is having down years, but because he's a goalie, because he's the last line of defense, he's going to get crapped on the most. And I don't think that's fair at all. I don't. So, am I the biggest Stuart Skinner fan? Look, I want him to succeed so much, more than anyone on the team. And I think he can get there. He's obviously going through something, but people ripping him apart isn't going to do him any good. And maybe people are going to be like, oh, well, you're ripping on him right now. Well, I'm criticism. Constructive criticism. That's what I like to call it there. So, anyway. Well, that's all I got for this one, guys. Thanks for all the continued support. Drop a comment down below. I'm super curious to hear what you guys have to say. Am I out to lunch? Is that a weird theory? Is that a dumb theory? Let me hear it. Let me hear it. Let me hear it. Let's go. But the Oilers back in action. Damn it. Phone call. But the Oilers are back in action tomorrow. Stuart Skinner, I think he'll be in net. Here's hoping he's okay. Here's hoping Oilers fans can just really rally behind him and just that would be amazing. It would be amazing. So that's all I got for this one, guys. Thanks for all the continued support. This is Above Average. I'm YouTube Trev. Don't be average when you can be above average. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.